Welcome to the Did You Know podcast, where the focus is on rare diseases, how modern medicine is treating these conditions, including the latest breakthroughs in research, and how people cope with their diagnosis and healing. Your host is Dana Mauro, known for her video series on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook called Did You Know Ataxia Facts. 300 videos have been produced and seen in 17 countries to date. And now, your host, Dana Mauro.
Hi, kNOwATAXIA Nation. I just wanted to let you know that I'm sitting here today. My special guest is Mike Rosa. Mike is going to be participating in the Bataan Death March, which is coming up on March 17th. And so I want to take some time to talk to Mike about his involvement in this march and how he ended up wanting to do this and what he's doing in terms of training and preparation for this important event. Before I bring Mike into the conversation, I just want to give you a little background about Mike. So Mike has SCA, spinocerebellar ataxia, and he was diagnosed finally in May of 2013. He is also a military man. He spent 23 years in the Army, and he retired from the Special Forces in 2005. So he has that military connection. So, Mike, I want to welcome you to the podcast.
Well, thank you very much, Dan.
And I want to talk a little bit about this Bataan Death March. Can you tell me, what is this all about? I know it's a challenging march, but I'd like to hear from you. Like, describe it for us. What is this march all about?
Well, it really commemorates servicemen that we had, American and Filipino servicemen back in World War II. We had a number of thousands, tens of thousands of soldiers that were deployed over there. And logistics were horrible during that time. I mean, it was bad enough getting stuff to guys inland. Now they have to travel overseas where, planes would get shot down by Japanese planes. And so we had American infantry, Army and the Marines over there with Filipino infantry, and they were on half rations. So whatever, rations were for that day, they were only getting half of that. So they're already somewhat malnutrition. And once the Japanese invaded the island, they all became prisoners of war. And the Japanese cut those rations in half. So now they're on quarter rations. So when you look at pictures of people from the Holocaust, if you were to research and find, on YouTube or whatever, you will see some pictures of some of these soldiers looking just like that, all frail. And they marched them for over 60 miles to the POW camp. I think it was over 10,000 that did not make it. And when the Japanese saw that these soldiers could not continue, they would kill them in brutal ways.
Because they were like a liability.
Exactly.
That's awful.
It's hard to imagine,
yeah, that really is hard to imagine. So from that history, one can imagine like how traumatic that was for these men. And now, how did the Bataan Death March come to be? Was it done as a memorial to these men, a remembrance to them?
I haven't researched if there is a big Filipino community in that area. I'm assuming there is. It's one of the ROTC elements that was there 30-some years ago.
No, I was just going to say it's incredible when you learn the history of this and what those men had to go through. So why
Oh, God.
so you learned about this through being in the Army, I assume?
Correct.
And I understand that you participated in this march last year.
Yes, well, so prior to that, years before that, I was always having some difficulty with my gait or my legs, and so I could never do it. And that the year that I did do it, or prior to, I was feeling great, walking a lot better. I wasn't having any problems at all with stiffness or anything. So I said, I'm going to go for it. And it's really just an amazing experience because you see thousands and thousands of people that are attending, not only participating, but then the hundreds of thousands that are there just to watch and send you off, and then also to receive you as you're coming in, those last couple 300 meters to cross the finish line. Funny thing is, I was watching some videos prior to it. I ended up seeing the same person that was in one of the videos. And so as you're marching, I think it was in the first half mile or so, there's a supporter out there, and he's got a wig on, he's got a tambourine, he's playing that thing, he's wishing you good luck, and he's got a sweater on that comes halfway up his beer belly, and he's shaking his thing, and it's just funny as heck. And I was like, when I hit mile 22, 23, I was like, what's that guy for motivation? I need that now, not a mile, half a mile.
But you completed the whole 26 miles.
I did. It took me a while. It's like 9 hours and 56 minutes. It was an all day affair. When you just sit around the house and doing whatever on a rainy day or a really crappy day and you're stuck inside the house, 10 hours is a long time. But when you're out there and one foot in front of the other, 10 hours does not seem like 10 hours. It was a long day, but you're constantly moving, and you stop. Like after mile 8, they have every 2 or 3 miles, depending on the terrain. Usually it's 2. They would have a bunch of tables, big support element. They must have had 2,000 people just supporting this event. Water, bananas, oranges, Gatorade, medical. But there are some parts of that march out in the desert that just is a long straightaway, and you just see people like ants. It's just amazing how many people go and support this.
It is amazing. And you and I were talking prior to the podcast, and you had a funny story to tell. And so you explained to me that when you get there in the morning, sometimes it can be a bit chilly, and so you dress in layers. And why don't you describe for our audience what you saw as you were walking along, and as the walk progressed and the day got a little later in the day?
So, you get out there early because, of course, there are thousands of people, like I said. And so last year, I did not dress properly for the early morning. It was windy, it was cold. I just had a short sleeve shirt on. But once you get going, you warm up. And there are some people dressed out there in 2 or 3 layers. Like, they must be sweating within the first half mile. They have so many layers of clothes on. So as you get out there, you start seeing, a sweatshirt or a sweater, a baklava, just all layers of clothing, gloves, and so you wonder where all these clothes go every single year, because it's not like it's only a few pieces here or there. It's like it goes on for a few miles. You start seeing this stuff, you know.
You wonder if there's a cleanup crew that comes up behind everybody and just like picks up all the clothes.
At the yard sale.
As a yard sale, right, exactly. But I can understand, how you have to dress for the temperature when you start. And so if you are getting warm, there's nowhere else to put these things. You must have to just leave them.
Well, I tell you, this year, I've already got a very light pair of gloves, and I'm going to have a light, light fleece jacket or something. At least where my shirt will still be open, because we have a joint Mission Bataan logo, so I want that to be shown. But I'm carrying a backpack. I had about 20 pounds last year. I probably have the same this year. But that's, extra boots or hiking shoes, socks, some energy foods, plus water.
Plus rocks.
Plus rocks, because I'll be supporting some of the folks sending Ataxia rocks out, which we will. I'll keep at least one in my backpack, so it makes it the full distance. But the others will be out there for people. Hopefully, people will pick it up and, hey, what's this? And that will help spread awareness, because they're going to look at the links or the whatever information is on the rocks that these wonderful folks are going to put on there. Text JMB to 71777 on there.
Yep. No, I think that, they were very excited. Lisa Cole is the one that heads up the Ataxia rocks, and Jan Pantori, right? And she, both of them are big into the rocks, and they were very excited and wanted to get right on the bandwagon and get you some rocks so that you could have them for the walk.
They look cool. I'll split them up between myself and Ed, and that's our subsequent mission, is to get the word out that way, and we will achieve that mission as well.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I was going to ask you what was your main driver for doing this, and I know that this year it's about ataxia awareness and raising funds. So can you say a little bit about that?
Sure. So last year was pretty much the same, spreading awareness and trying to raise funds for National Ataxia Foundation for research, and I had two fundraising efforts. One raised $6,000 to a GoFundMe page. The other was $1,700 or $1,800 that went directly to NAF. So, this year it was the same mission. Is trying to educate more people, and some people that were, and they would see it, maybe they would read even more about the disease. And hopefully it would have a snowball effect with the social media and emails that were passed out by both Ed and myself. So we had set a goal of $50,000, and we just went over the halfway mark today. So I'm hoping within the next 12 days that people will hear about this on the podcast and spread that out, and maybe they wait till the last minute to donate, and that's okay. Trying to do the same thing as we did last year, and we've already succeeded, even if it was only a few $1,000s. That's more money towards research, but
it is.
We're doing very well right now.
It is. It's really, it's very much appreciated too, and it's a brotherhood, right? Like everybody with ataxia is banding behind you in support of this, because funds are needed for research, and that research helps everybody.
Exactly. I always heard Jill with this tagline. Money buys research, and research finds answers. And I don't know a better way to put it.
No, it's
so
very true.
So exactly. So I figure as long as I'm still in the shape that I'm in and have the capability to do so, that hey, it's going to be my mission to every year to do this, and if I'm able to do more, I'll do more. I also look at two of our other family members, my brother Kyle and Sean from within the family. Both have Friedrichs. I always say it wrong.
Well, there's different ways to say it, as Kyle explained to me. But those are the two disabled dudes that you're speaking about, and we love them.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be a great time. I know Ed's looking forward to it. I've talked to him about a few other things. He's like, "Oh, hold on, man, I haven't even done this yet. Let's get through this, and then we'll discuss about some other things." I said, "Okay."
I know, but you know what happens? You get that momentum, right? So it's like a snowball effect. It's like there's definitely energy around doing something like this and getting people to like support you and be behind you and just
right.
I don't know, feeling like you're making a difference.
And I think that's stuck with me since the last March, and being able to hand Joe a check, from hard work and a lot of people that were dedicated to donate, and it felt really good. And then last year's conference was amazing as well, and like you said, it just kept going. That flow just kept going. Of feeling good about what's happening, what the future, the possibilities of the future could be. With the research, possibilities of medication being within reach, and so I'm just excited to hear what they have to say this year.
Yeah, I am too. And also, I think, everybody that, is in our community, the ataxia community, they all have different levels of abilities, right? And so I think there are some people who might not be able to participate in an event like this, but they can do other things, right? And so everything has value. And I think that for those people with ataxia that have the drive and they still have physical ability to be able to participate in something like this, I say go for it. Why not? And I think it's a wonderful thing. And I think that anybody doing anything to help raise awareness or funds is just really appreciated by the entire community because it helps us all. No, and it's true, and I think that you can attest to that when you went to the conference as well. It's like you walk in, and it's like here are my people, here is my tribe. I don't need to pretend to be anybody I'm not. I don't have to like explain myself ad nauseum. These people get it. I can just be Mike, or I can just be Dana, and it's so refreshing. But,
and you're right. Before, you don't have to, ask people or tell people, it's like you don't have to repeat the same old stories from the same old questions over again about, what you have and how long you've had it, because, the average person with no disease that's curious wants to know, and that's fine because now we're spreading awareness, but, when it's like 4 or 5 times within the same day and on the same gathering, it becomes monotonous.
Exactly. You just want to say, how about them socks, right?
Yeah.
It's like you just want to talk baseball or something other than ataxia, right? So I just think that you are doing such a great thing with this. So I just want people to know where if they want to donate to help this cause, how do they do that, Mike?
Well, the best way, the simplest way is to just go on your phone and your cell phone and text JMB, which stands for Joint Mission Bataan, to 71777. Once you send that, you'll get a response back, and it gives you a link, and you type the link, and it brings you right to the page where you can make your donation.
That's fabulous.
And it would definitely be appreciated by everyone within the community, because that's more money towards research and more research towards a cure.
Are you? Is Joel slipping you a 20 or a 25?
Yeah. He sent me an email with all talking points.
That's awesome. No, so just in summary, I just want to say, this is a great cause. You're really participating in a great event. It's very physically challenging, so I applaud you for that. And also, you're doing a great service to all of the ataxia community by raising awareness and funds. And Lisa and Jan love you because you're going to be taking their rocks with you on your walk and leaving them for people to find. Those rocks, have made it all over the world. It's really. Well,
I'm just glad the rocks are not boulders.
Exactly. I know they're kind of small, so they should be manageable. But no, it's been great talking with you. I wanted to just spread the word about this great cause, and I wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing this for the ataxia community.
Well, I thank you for having me, and let me, say what it means to me to do this, and I look forward to doing this for everyone, our community, and look forward to seeing everyone at the conference.
Great.
It's going to be a good time.
It is. It's going to be wonderful. All right, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so kNOwATAXIA Nation, thank you for listening in today, and until next time, have a great rest of your day, and don't forget to go and support this great cause, and we'll link down below the instructions for how you can text to make your donation. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening in to the Did You Know podcast with your host, Dana Mauro. Please subscribe to this channel to hear all of the latest podcasts. We hope that this podcast has provided you with valuable information and inspires you to advocate for yourself and educate everyone in your circle. Remember, you are the expert and best spokesperson for your rare disease. Thank you.